MVP.
Rangers do every day. It's always been that way for me. Always been a get better mentality every day, grow every day, be a better leader every day, be a better quarterback every day. And when that wrench do, I don't plan on missing no payments. So.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to 3 in the Keystone, episode 111. Chris,
you cut that short?
No, I don't think so.
It cut short for me. The Hurts thing was going on, and all of a sudden, I hear your.
Maybe I'm setting a tone for tonight.
You cut
111 back in the day, Chris. My first CIO house was the address 111.
You cutting off the quarterback.
Again, as you guys may have heard, football right around the corner tomorrow, a 95-degree day to set the tone, for sure. But we have a heavy dose of football tonight. A lot of you guys have been anticipating our Eagles preview and where we're going to go with this team and the debates that are going to come with it. So we are going to get into it tonight, Chris. The Birds, what do we got? 9 days, 10 days? Where are we at countdown-wise?
Let's check it out.
The Friday night starts got me all out of whack.
Yeah, it's the 6th, right? So we got
10 days.
Yeah, 10, 4, 5, 6, yep, 10 days. Where will you be?
When do you think they leave for Brazil?
I would imagine something like this. The time difference isn't that big.
Yeah, it's still a difference. I bet you they leave like Sunday.
No, I don't think so. It's only, maybe because of customs and stuff, they might leave a little earlier, but time-wise, I think it's only like a 2-hour difference.
I'm gonna see if I can get the scoop. From my guy right now.
Yeah, get on that investigative reporting. I don't think it's that big of a. Now, again, there might be some media stuff as well for something like that they might have to do before, during the week and stuff. So they might want to have it there. That place that they're going to doesn't like the color green or affiliated green teams and things, and of course, the NFL choose to have 2 green teams there. Yeah, exactly. So that might be something to think about.
But isn't their soccer team yellow and green?
Corinthians, I think it was, or whatever. Well, I forget if they have the beef with the Corinthians or if if that is their team, the Corinthians. Well, Corinthians is involved somewhere in there. But I'm saying
the soccer team wears green.
I don't know. There's one of those teams down there that wears green, and then the other team that's in that same area, their rivalry is so strong that they don't allow you to wear the color green.
You're supposed to be the soccer guy. You're supposed to know.
No, I'm not a South American soccer aficionado.
You watch the World Cup.
I do the Premier League. That's my club. Talk about club and country. My club affiliation is Tottenham. They're in the Premier League. That's why. All
right. Well, when the World Cup comes to Philly, I don't want to see you near it.
Why? Because I don't know Corinthians?
Corinthians.
Brazilian soccer. Speaking of Brazilian soccer, here's Al. Al can tell you.
Speaking of Corinthians.
You were doing Bible verses before you came on.
I didn't say anything about – all I'm saying is the Brazilian soccer team is yellow and green.
The national team is – I thought you meant the local team. I'm sorry.
No, I'm talking about the national team.
Oh, that's my fault. I misinterpreted. Yeah, the national team is yellow and green, yes.
So, but Brazil hates green, so I don't understand.
Well, it's not the country. It's just that region.
Oh,
that region.
What's the city? Where are they playing?
Sao Paulo.
Oh, I figured it would be Rio.
No, it's in Sao Paulo.
Oh, interesting. Good note there.
Yeah.
Al, welcome to the show.
Yeah. What the hell are you? What is this?
It started with me asking when you thought the Eagles would leave for Brazil.
Oh, it's got to be at least what, Tuesday?
I said Sunday.
Yeah, Tuesday is like the minimum.
I would say Tuesday because it's at that point you got Wednesday and Thursday to do some prep and walkthroughs. Friday's the game, The time difference, like I said, it's not that big. So time-wise, I don't think it's an issue to get there that early. And then unless you're doing media and all that kind of stuff, I don't know why they'd go that early.
Well, I wonder if there's going to be sightseeing, if they're going to do that before the practices and before the game. So I could see Adams.
What is this? St. Dennis football CYO? What do you mean sightseeing?
I'm just saying. I mean, it's a once in a lifetime trip. It could be for some of these guys. Some of these guys that aren't going to be in a roster in the next 2 years.
Bro, they get murdered while they're down there.
All this bread these guys got into a once in a lifetime to go to Brazil.
Dude, Britton Covey doesn't have that much bread. Well, this might be the only trip for him.
That is, yeah. Well, yeah.
All right, so Jen,
is he still in the roster?
Who?
Britton Covey. Did he make the cut?
Yeah, he made the team.
Okay, I didn't get a chance to look at the cuts. I'll be honest with you. So, hope you guys.
Wasn't too many surprises.
Okay. I'm looking at it right now as you're talking.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it, guys. Our full Eagles preview. Over under for wins in Vegas is 10.5. The Eagles finished 11-6 last year, but as we know, it was a 10-1 start, followed by an epic collapse, capped off by a 32-13 playoff loss to Tampa Bay. Who ends up taking the bullet? It's the coordinators, Ian or Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore, to run the defense and the offense respectively. In addition, key losses: Jason Kelsey retires, Hassan Reddick traded to New York, Fletcher Cox retired, DeAndre Swift to Chicago. In are Devin White, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Saquon Barkley, Bryce Huff, among others. I want to do this a little bit differently than our standard previews, and we're going to do 3 things. A, what are you most excited about this season? B, what are you most worried about this season? And C, a bold prediction. So let's start with the king of excitement, Mr. Chris. Why don't you hit us with what you're most excited to see this year?
You look stymied down there. What are we doing? Well,
because I'm looking at the roster now after the cut day, and
you got Paris Campbell as your most excited. You got to start from scratch.
No, he's looking at how much it costs to go to Brazil for a week.
All the above, actually. I'm sorry.
A teacher's salary with twins ain't gonna cut it, brother.
No, I gotta do some Chippendale work or something.
I don't think that's going to cut it either.
Drop that beat.
I'll drop something. All right. Anyway, so what am I excited for? I'm excited for Saquon. I want to see what he looks like in this offense with this offensive line, with this quarterback, with this offensive group overall, knowing now that he is not the, dare I say, the primary weapon for the first time probably in his life. He's not the primary weapon on an offense. So what does that mean? Does that free up more yards for him on the ground, opportunities for him to catch the ball from the backfield, spread out wide? What does that mean for him in this offense and his production? And could it, to be frank, could it be the opposite? Could he wind up being the focal point? And what does that mean for A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert, and even Hurts's rushing numbers? What does that mean? So I'm fascinated this year by this offense and under this new leadership with Kellen Moore, how they're going to perform.
Let me ask you this, Chris, because I know from our previous conversations you were bullish on Saquon. I feel pretty positive about him as well. But to throw the counterpunch at you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how sure are we that Saquon is not just averaged and or washed at this point? Because he's 27 years old, which is on the running back side is on the downward slope. He obviously had a huge workload from Penn State days. Last year, 3.9 yards per carry. He's only rushed for 1,000 yards once in the last 4 seasons. How sure are we that he's not washed?
So you're saying what? A scale of 1 to 10, 1 meaning that he's not washed at all?
7. What's your confidence percentage-wise? 1 to 100.
That he's not washed?
Correct.
90%.
Okay, so there's
a lot of lack of production for him is because of the fact that the Giants blow. Like their line has been awful, and it's really never been good since he got drafted. And so with that being said, the numbers that he put up there, especially in the beginning of his career, are to be commended. And this thing too, where he is like this injury-prone back. I mean, he had 2020 where he only played the 2 games. He had the injury. Other than that, he's played 13 or more games every year. So he's missed on average. Let me see. 2019 he missed 3 games. 21 he missed 3 games. Last year he missed 2 games. I'm sorry, 3 games also. With the extra 17th game. So it's not this guy is like Mike Trout, where you get him and you know he's only going to play half a year, or dare I say Joel Embiid, or any of those kind of guys. Like he's a little bit more durable than people give him credit for, especially under the circumstance of the fact that he's been running for his life with that lack thereof of an offensive line in that organization for the last 6 years.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. And my only, and we know this from experience, is does it have the downside of a DeMarco Murray signing, right? DeMarco Murray runs for 1,800 yards, and at the same exact age, turning 27, the Eagles sign him. And whether it was the fit in the offense or the fact that, he was just at that age, he had gotten too many carries and gotten run down because he only was in the league for 3 years after that. And he just wasn't a productive player for the Eagles.
Well, and he wasn't. And that was the worst kept secret in football at the time. People knew that Jerry Jones was not going to pay that dude. And they knew that he literally basically was saying, I'm going to run him into the ground. And buyer beware if you want to sign him after he's out of here, because we are going to use every single ounce of effectiveness we can get out of DeMarco Murray. Another thing too, like Saquon, like if you look at his numbers and extrapolate him for 16 games for all of his career, he's pretty consistent at around 1,300 yards on the ground. I'll take that from a running back in this day and age in the NFL. And again, that's with a mediocre at best. And at this point, recently, last few years, a piss poor offensive line.
Here's a major oversight in the DeMarco Murray, Saquon Barkley comparison as well. When DeMarco Murray came to the Eagles, yes, he was 27. He was on, I hate to say back end of his career at 27, but I mean, that's the reality of the NFL with running backs. Who were the weapons around DeMarco Murray on that offense that year? And who was throwing the ball? We had Sam Bradford, right?
Sure.
We had Jordan Matthews. We had Nelson Aguilar. We had Zach Ertz. We had like the weapons around Saquon Barkley are on a whole different planet.
Yeah, no, that's a valid point. It's just a matter of, is Saquon, what we're paying him, going to be worth what he actually is at this point? And I think we all think that he is. I'm just trying to present the counterpoint here of there's a chance, a non-zero chance, that this dude is average at this point in his career. It's a possibility.
When has he ever been average?
Last year, average 3.9 yards per carry. I would say it's below average, 962 yards rushing. But I know it's a bad team. But you can't say that that's good.
But again, if he also missed 3 games, if he plays those 3 games, he's going to end up around that number I said of 1,300 yards. He's going to end up around.
He averaged 65 yards per game on the ground. If you add that, he's like at 1,150. He's not at 1,300.
Well, I still say I think that overall that's the number that I would go for as far as between 12 and 1,300 yards, where that's my expectation of him on the ground still this year and next year. Now, the third year, I think that Howie's on the same page I am. We'll see what happens in those 2 years. We'll play it by ear. And they can get him out of here before that third season if they want to. Or if they want to keep him, they can renegotiate that deal at that point if they want to. But this year and next year, I have no feeling that he's going to be a bust or anything like that of any sort. I don't see that happening.
He also scored 10 of the Giants' 29 touchdowns.
Right, that's a third of a touchdown. Exactly.
Third of the touchdowns. I think when it comes to Saquon Barkley, as Eagles fans, you have to temper your expectations. You can't expect some monster all-pro, all-world running back. Like, we're not getting Adrian Peterson in his prime, right? But I think we're going to get somebody that's very good, that can stretch the defense. He can run the wheel route, run the flat. catch a ball and get some yards. Brace yourselves, though. I know I've warned you guys about this before. I've warned everybody I've talked to as a Penn State guy. You're going to get the 1 yard loss. You're going to get the 2 yard loss because Saquon does like to dance around the backfield a little bit.
Well, we saw that with Shady when he was here.
Right. He's a lot like Shady. But I do think he still has that home run potential, even with the tread and the wear and tear on his body.
I think he's stronger than Shady, and I think that he's got better hands than Shady does.
100%. He's stronger.
Better than Saquon. Stop.
Shady was way shiftier.
Yeah. Shady's better than Saquon.
No, that's an awful statement. That's a terrible.
What has Saquon done in his career? Look at McCoy's.
You're holding his crappy team against him basically because of his production, and he couldn't.
You're just assuming that he would be a star if he was on a better team. At least Shady ran for 1,600 yards in 2013. He has 11,000 career rushing yards. Barkley has 5,000.
Saquon hasn't played up to his potential.
Yeah,
but 90% of that is because of his team he's had.
That's understandable. But that's the NFL. That's where the NFL works.
What quarterback has Saquon played with? What offensive line has Saquon played? What receivers have got pressure off Saquon's back? Shady had Deshaun Jackson. He had Jeremy Maclin. He had Michael Vick. He had all these other Brent Selleck. He had weapons that got pressure off his back. And I love Shady, and he was a great player. But I think it's not fair to say definitively Shady was way better than Saquon Barkley because with their tangibles and intangibles, to be honest with you, Saquon is I would say if you put him in that situation right now, if you could have a Marvel multiverse situation and put him on that Eagles team, he would outperform Shady's numbers. I believe that.
I don't know. I mean, Shady ended up going to a below average Buffalo team and still ran for 1,300 yards and 13 touchdowns.
All right,
so
well, then
it's not like he's going to get it in Philly.
Saquon in his rookie year in the National Football League with a half-ass O-line had 1,300 yards and 11 touchdowns.
Okay, yes, he's had that, and that's the best season of his career.
And that's probably the best O-line he's had. And that wasn't even good.
All I'm saying is you're playing with hypotheticals. I'm going off production.
Well, you're also going by 6 more years of professionalism. Like, what are we talking? Like the guy can't play the amount of years yet on his resume that Shady's had because he's still playing. He's 27. Okay,
Shady's peak season is still better than Saquon's peak season at this point. Statistically.
All right, but he's really played 5 years because the 2020 season he didn't really play because he was hurt. So he's had 5 years in the NFL. Where was the question would become for me? Where was Shady's numbers after year 5 in comparison to Saquon's? That's a comparison.
His 5th year was his best year. He ran for 1,600 yards.
I'm saying his total production in the league. I'm saying.
Okay, he had 3,000-yard seasons, and he had a season with 20 touchdowns. Shady has. Shady's production's better. I mean, again, you can go hypothetical if you want.
Saquon's also had 3 years with over 1,000 yards rushing. And you said what? What was the other one? Did he have a 91-yard reception or 91 reception season?
I said he had 20 touchdowns.
Okay, but did he have a 91 reception season?
I mean, he wasn't used as a pass catcher as much as he was. He had a 78 catch season.
Okay, so he's still. So I mean, like again, I'm not saying Shady was a bad guy. Obviously, he was a great player, but I just think it's unfair to compare someone that's 27 and still in their, hopefully, still in their prime of their career and still putting up production to a guy that's retired and had 11 years under his belt. Like you're talking about 5,200 yards versus 11,000 yards. Well, the guy's not done playing yet.
Okay, we're going to see how many yards he gets because I don't know how much he has left in the tank. Listen, we got to move on because we still got a lot of different things to get to. Al, do you want to give me what you're most excited to see?
Yeah, I'm excited to see pre-snap motion. Pre-snap motion. I'm excited to see all the weapons. I think Jalen Hurts, people forget after the disaster of last year, people forget how good he was 2 years ago. He was the MVP for a lot of the year, depending on who you ask. I'm just excited to see an offense run under Kellen Moore, who has taken the Dallas Cowboys offense when he was with Dallas. I think 3 of the 4 years he was there, they were in the top 6 in offense. So I'm just excited to see the offense come together this year.
All right, I'll build on that. I'm excited to see who the real Jalen Hurts is. I mean, this is the biggest thing to come from this season. We were all ready to crown him, and rightfully so, after 2022. He was second in MVP votes, 35 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He was awesome in the playoffs. He was even better in the Super Bowl. And we had our discussions last year, is he a top 2 quarterback in the league? Is he a top 3 quarterback in the league? And that was the bottom part of where that was the floor for where we had him ranked. He got paid. He had a major regression last year. We all can agree with that. His interception rate doubled. His rushing yards per game went from 50 yards per game to 35 yards per game. His QB rating dropped. We all know the attitude and leadership, which were supposed to be his strengths, had an issues with Coach Sirianni. So to me, it goes, who is the real Jalen Hurts? And are we going to see the guy that we saw in 22? Or are we going to see the guy who we saw last year and in 21? I'm excited to find out, do we have our franchise quarterback or not?
Are you more excited to watch the downfall of Jalen Hurts or the downfall of Joel Embiid?
Oh my God!
Be honest.
No, I don't.
Because you know what? He's really rooting for both.
Be honest.
No. I don't root for the downfall of Joel Embiid. I just see it happening.
And you too, Al. You're rooting for it too.
No, get the hell out of here.
Both rats.
No, I want to be wrong.
On which one, Joel or Jalen?
I'm not in the Jalen Hurts sucks camp.
Okay. I'm not in the
right.
sucks camp either.
No, you haven't. You're right.
Yeah, Seltz, you rated him in the tier with who was it? Like Kirk Cousins and
not rated. He said that was the not rated. That was the infamous quote.
Yeah,
you didn't want to even rate him.
Yeah,
that was 2 years ago. I had him with Jared Goff, and that's where he was last year. Jared Goff was better than him last year.
Had him with Sean Clifford. All right, what do you guys not want to see? What's the next category?
I'll start with this one since I went last there. Is this defense the worry? Is this defense better than last year's defense? Right? We could talk all we want about the offense, and it's loaded on all aspects of the ball. But only 6 teams in the NFL gave up more yards per game than the Eagles last year, and only 1 gave up more passing yards. They only generated 43 sacks compared to 70 the year before that. They brought in some reinforcements, but are any of them worth anything? Are any of them worth a damn? CJ Gardner-Johnson was good 2 years ago, but he barely played last year. The DB room is full of young guys. We all know we don't know what we're getting from them. Quinion Mitchell, DeJean, Ringo, Rogers. The linebacker situation is still murky at best. I got the inside scoop that our boy Devin White is already being a little bit of a locker room problem inside the camp there. And we lost our best pass rusher. Let's be real. We lost our best pass rusher, and we lost a guy who, he was at the end of his career, but was still, somewhat productive in Fletcher Cox, and a guy that was playing more snaps than a Jordan Davis in the second half of the year. So my question is this defense good enough to be a good enough defense for a contender in the NFC?
Seltzer, please you can't just say what you just said and not justify. Please give us context by saying Devin White has become a locker room issue, because nothing. I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong or the source is wrong, but that has been far from what anybody has heard to this point that's been reported about him. So
from what I've heard is that physically and talent-wise, he's not the player that they thought he was going to be. And if they start taking him off the field in certain situations, they can already see that becoming a problem with his attitude. That's what I've heard.
Okay. All that's been reported is that he's been potentially the biggest steal in free agency, being a $4.5 million deal for 1 year. So as far as not being the same guy physically or skill wise, we'll see. I'm not questioning that, but I just think that's a way different take than what we've heard from the media. So that's interesting. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll see how it plays out. I think that he also, if you look at that linebacker room, he's obviously the Mufasa. There's nobody there's a lot of kids. There's a lot of kids in there. So if he's maybe you're not going to pull me for these young kids, I don't know if I disagree with that. No one's proven that they're better than he is at this point in the game. That's on that roster in that room. But at the same time, you got to be a team first dude. So if that's the case, then hopefully that changes throughout the year. But we'll see.
Yeah, that's my concern as well. There's question marks and there's new names all over the defense, and we're sitting here as Eagles fans having to rely on guys that we haven't had to rely on in the past. Darius Slay, one of the guys that we could rely on. He's a year older, 33 years old. That takes its toll. That's kind of the age when corners start to wear down. can Jalen Carter, can Jordan Davis play at a high level all year? Is Jordan Davis even really a great player? I'm not sure at this point. Will Nakobe Dean or Nolan Smith step up? Are any of these young corners ready to be a day one starter in this league? And are all of these guys ready to execute a new defense? Vic Fangio, for all of the accolades that he gets, and they're well deserved, he runs a pretty complex defense where you have guys that have to be versatile, and they have to know where they have to go in the field at all times. And you're asking a group that hasn't played together. There's not much cohesion in that group. So we'll see what happens. If I had to add one more worry, it's the beginning of the season for me, because the beginning of the season, the schedule, I mean, look, they play, we obviously know they play Green Bay, but then they only have 4 games before their bye. They hit the road twice, even though it's the NFC South, there's still road games. Atlanta's much improved, even though that's a home game. This could be a disaster if they start 1-3, and then they have the bye, and it's just a week of hearing what's going on. Is Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts getting along? And, are these guys the right answer at defense? Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean and blah, blah, and Saquon, is he a bust? You're going to hear all those things for a really long 2 weeks if they start the season 1-3.
Al, I will say this. I think that if they struggle this year at any point towards them, if there's still like games plural below 500 towards like the middle of the season, I don't see it. I don't know if Sirianni survives the season.
He might have the hottest seat in the NFL.
It's up there. I don't know if I could see a world where he does not survive the season, a la Chip Kelly, where he got fired that last game. He might get. I could see where he's thanked for his duties and asked to clear out his closet.
Yeah,
before the end of the year. Hopefully, we don't see that.
So I think you guys all read the article, Al. You sent it to us on ESPN.com that kind of dove into some of the problems that occurred last year. And the thing that stood out to me, and the thing that I thought about, is there was an obvious rift between Sirianni and Jalen Hurts last year. You could read it in the article.
Yeah.
And by all accounts in that article, that they've seemed to have figured out their differences in this offseason. My thing, and this may have should have even been my biggest worry, is listen, it's all well and good to get on the same page in the offseason. The question is, once the games come up, are you going to be able to get on that same page? Because, I mean, it's like a relationship, right? We broke up, we don't get along, but we were apart for a little bit. Now we got back together. We all know at the first sign of turmoil, those feelings come back up to the surface, right? We've all seen it in life. So I don't necessarily think that the relationship is repaired. It will be a lot of pressure on these coordinators to make sure that they can get the ball rolling in the right direction, because obviously that was a huge issue last year. But I'm with you, Chris. I mean, Sirianni is, if this doesn't work, he's out. There's no question about it.
Yeah. And I think the only reason that he stayed is because Jeffrey Lurie is a smart enough owner and businessman to know that if he let that guy go a year removed from being in the Super Bowl, that's not going to do well for him to get another potential elite head coach in this building, because those guys all talk, right? It's the league. There's a circle, and they all talk, and that would not be a good look for the Eagles organization if that happened. But Al, I think you had all those questions you brought up are very valid, and I'm just looking through the roster as you were talking. There's a couple of things I'm confused by, and I don't know. So the thought was they probably would keep 6 or 7 corners. They kept 4. Kelly, Ringo, Isaiah Rodgers, obviously Slay, and Eli Ricks, which I was a little bit surprised by. They kept, obviously, for safeties, Gardner Johnson and Blankenship, Avonte Maddox. They kept James Bradbury. Sidney Brown is still injured. So they have more safeties right now than corners. And
that's not Mitchell. You didn't say Mitchell.
I'm sorry, Quinyon Mitchell too, yeah. And DeJean, but DeJean could be we don't know what they want to do with him. He could be a safety or he could be a corner. Right now, I think he's going to be a slot guy, but we'll see how that plays out. But it makes me feel like, are they going to try to get this dude on the field again? Are they going to try to get 24 on the field again on this defense?
I don't think you keep a veteran of that stature to make him ride the pine, right?
I
agree with you. He was so bad last year, and they're trying to mold him into a safety. And I don't see that.
And he wasn't even that good. He wasn't even good with that. Like, he still looks a little bit slow. He's still chasing plays, which is a safety you're never supposed to be chasing. You're always supposed to be in front. And he's still not a great tackler, especially from behind. Pause. So, like, what? I don't understand. It's unless they're just playing, like, still having gamesmanship here, and how he's still trying to hold on till the last second, hoping someone gets injured in the league and he can flip them for a pick. But I mean, we're late in the game here.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see. Like you said, Greg, there seems to be a lot of hybrid defensive backs on this team right now. You mentioned DeJean, Bradbury, all guys who can kind of play both, but also kind of can't play both at the same time. Here's a question for you guys: who ends up leading this team in sacks?
I hope it. I mean, I guess Josh Sweat,
right? Or
I guess I'll take Josh Sweat. They would hope it's. They would probably hope it's Jalen Carter or Bryce Huff.
Right,
but Nolan Smith.
Nolan Smith was played into the fourth quarter the other day.
Yeah, he's actually someone that I'm really concerned with.
Yeah, at some point they have to.
Not only was he playing Seltzer, he was not productive.
Yeah,
and this is not productive in those moments against those backup players. It's a little bit concerning to me that that's his deal right now.
That's another reason why we cannot. And listen, as people in the media, we're going to do it because of our job. You cannot judge drafts right after they happen. We just can't. Because everybody said, "Oh, Howie cooked because he got Nolan Smith at pick 28." Well, guess what? Nolan Smith might not be able to play.
Well, he dropped because of his injuries. It wasn't people scared of his play, but still, I mean, he has not shown that he doesn't flash on tape at all. Even against those second and third, and even sometimes fourth string guys, that's very alarming to me, and I'm really concerned by that. One thing I want to also add real quick was, as far as something I'm looking to see that I'm a little bit questionable about, is I want to see what happens with that O-line. It's not the sexiest thing to say or look at, but I want to see what happens with Cam Jurgens as center, taking over for Kelsey. And I want to see what's up with Mekhi Becton, because Mekhi Becton was not drafted to be a guard. He was drafted to be a tackle. And he's had the issues with his health and this and that. Eagles were able to get him on the cheap this year, converted him into being a guard, Jeff Stoutland being the O-line guru that he is. And if he can get Mekhi Becton to play to his potential that he had coming out of college as a high first-round pick, they fleeced the Jets. Now, we'll see if that happens. Again, that's a question that we have with this team, especially on that offensive side. If he is successful in that guard spot, this team will be even better than I think we anticipate offensively. But if he doesn't, that's a big hole on that spot of that line, because behind him is Tyler Steen, who also can't stay healthy and hasn't shown that he's any good.
No, it's a great question. And, at the end of the day, they lost a future Hall of Famer who was still producing at a high level at the center position in Jason Kelsey. And those are huge footsteps to follow. And like you said, it may not be the center position per se, with Jurgens jumping over there, but it's the guard position that they have to fill. And that's a question mark going into the season as well. So it's a great point.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to bold predictions. We'll start with Al. Give me a bold prediction before we get into the Eagles record.
I really wanted to do something with the offense just because of all the weapons. But my bold prediction is going to be that Keely Ringo ends up one of the starting cornerbacks before the year is over, and possibly by the midway point.
He'll be starting corner on week 1.
Yeah, I really like him. People forget how young he is. He's only 22 years old. He's younger than Quinyon Mitchell. He did a great job in the preseason, especially against the Patriots. He's 6'2", so he's got a big body for a cornerback, which kind of allows him to be physical. You can see him jam guys at the line and make them really uncomfortable sometimes. It happened a lot in that Patriots game. And he keeps guys from getting into their routes. So I really like him. I hope he can put it all together. And I know that he's facing kind of a little bit of an uphill battle with, the signings with Rodgers out there and with Mitchell being drafted. But I really like his talent. I think he could be starting this season again before the midway point.
All right, Chris, hit us with your bold prediction.
Well, this is for you, Seltzer. I think that Saquon Barkley is going to be a candidate for Offensive Player of the Year this year in the NFC. I think that this is a perfect storm for him at the perfect time of his career. And I think that he is going to put up monster numbers. I really do. And I love Christian McCaffrey, one of my favorite guys in the league. I hate that he's one of the 40 whiners, but he is. It is what it is. But I think those guys are going to be the two top candidates this year, neck to neck for Offensive Player of the Year. You can't do MVP because it's just a quarterback award at this point. So for Offensive Player of the Year, I think Saquon's going to be right there.
All right. That's your bold prediction. I'm going to go. I have a breakout year. I mean, he's broken out a couple times, but I think the big year, I think A.J. Brown gets injured this year, and I think Devontae Smith goes for 110 catches and 1,400 yards this season for the Eagles.
What do you mean by injured? You talking about like 2 games? Or you talking about
maybe like a 4 to 6 weeks, something along those lines. I mean, listen, predicting injuries is just a shot in the dark. I do think he'll need that to take off, but I think once he does, he may become the true number one. It's basically 1A and 1B at this point with those two guys. But I think Devontae's ready to take off this year, and I think 110 catches for him.
He could do that even with A.J. Brown potentially.
He could in the right situation, especially if the defense doesn't live up to what it's supposed to do, and they're in shootouts every week.
I think Goddard could have a big year too. I think he could have like 8-9 touchdowns this season.
I think Goddard sucks.
I think Hurts trusts him though, man. He doesn't drop the ball.
No, he doesn't. And how can you say he sucks?
Sucks.
Like he might not be a top 4 or 5 guy, but to say he sucks is not like
he's average. He's average, man.
No, but he's only average in comparison to like the freaks that are out there these days.
Like what's he done? What's he done to get the hype of like?
Dude, here's the other thing. If it wasn't for the tush push, he's another guy that would benefit from the tush push not being around, because that's how many touchdowns last 15. Like you got to figure at least 3 of those are going to go to him.
The guy's been in the league 6 years. His career high is 5 touchdowns. His career high is 800 yards. He's okay.
For 800 yards for a tight end is.
But people talk about him like before this year. People talked about him as a top 5 tight end in the league.
If you ask scouts, offensively, hand speed mixed with being able to block,
right?
He's probably the second best tight end in football behind George Kittle. Behind George Kittle, being able to do both in an elite level at that position, absolutely. He's an elite tight end blocker and has elite tight end hands. Now, his speed may not be elite, and he sometimes can get stripped of the ball. But as far as being able to do his job and block and protect the quarterback and also get out and catch a ball, he has those two, or as from a tight end perspective, probably second, if not third best in football. Now, I'm not saying he's the third best tight end in football. I'm saying skill-wise. Stats are what they are, and I can't disagree with you with stats or facts. But from a skill perspective of both ends of that job, he's one of the best in football.
All right,
no question about it.
Let's go to final record predictions. We did the schedule earlier this year, but now the season is more upon us, and we've felt this team a little bit more. So let's start with Al, and then we'll go Chris, and then we'll actually go Al and me, Chris, because Chris is the most in tune here.
What was their over under the season? It's like 10.5, right?
10.5.
I got them winning 11 games. I got them at 11-6. I don't think they're like, I don't have a lot of wiggle room with that number. I don't think they're going to win less than 10, but I don't think they're going to win more than 12. So I see 11 as being a safe number this season.
I'm in the same range. I'm a little, as I dug into this team, I'm really worried about the defense. But as we're going to talk about in the next segment, I don't think the division's very good, so I think there's opportunities. I have them at 10-7, so I have them under the win total, but I think they will win the division at that number. So I have them at 10-7.
Yeah, I have 12 wins. I believe in this team. I think they're going to get back in the swing of things that they were 2 years ago when they went to the Super Bowl. I think that they're too good and too talented to have back-to-back years of being falling off a cliff. I just can't see that happening. And if it does, then I think you got to look at the quarterback and you got to look at the head coach. But I don't see that. I see 12 wins on the schedule.
Those predictions were very on brand for the three of us. But another thing is with the schedule, I think this happened last year too, didn't it? They have the last 6 games, the last 6 weeks. They don't have to get on an airplane again. because they're at Baltimore, home for 2 games, at Washington, home for 2 games, to end the season. So
how'd that work out last year? How'd that work out last year?
Well,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you're acting like it's been a theme for years with these guys. Like,
no, I was just pointing out last year that the schedule at the end of the year was soft, and it was. They had the Giants twice, they had Arizona, and we talked about it all year.
He can't help himself, Gus.
Oh, well, you put it on a platter for me.
10 wins, barely 10 wins.
Yeah, 11.
Barely, yeah.
All right, let's get into the rest of the NFC East. Obviously the Eagles' rival teams. We'll start with the Giants. Over under is 6.5. 6-11 last year. They were 29th in offense. They were 27th in defense. Daniel Jones tears his ACL after 6 games where they ride it out with Tommy DeVito, the pizza man, as well as Tyrod Taylor. A very interesting offseason if you followed it with Hard Knocks. I thought it was a really good series showing what they have, but they lose Saquon. Obviously, we talked about it. Darren Waller retires. They bring in Malik Neighbors in the draft, some offensive line guys, trade for Brian Burns. Let's start with Al. Where are you at on the Giants?
Giants are so bad, dude. They still have a bottom 5 offensive line. The offense is pitiful. I'm not a Daniel Jones guy. I don't think he's any good. Malik Neighbors. The one thing the Giants do a good job of, at least over the last couple of decades, is drafting and developing wide receivers. So I do like Neighbors. I think he's going to flourish despite the fact that he has Daniel Jones throwing him the football. The defense still has a lot to prove. I like the Brian Burns signing. I like the fact that New York is trying to attack that defense from the inside out. We watched a lot of very good New York Giant defensive lines in our day. So I like that signing, pairing him up with Kayvon Thibodeau. I do still think that the Giants are really bad. And DeBoll is still the coach, right?
Yeah.
DeBoll Dable.
Yeah, I think that honeymoon is over, and I think that he's another guy on the hot seat. I got the Giants going 5-12 this season.
Ooh.
I'm with you, Al. Actually, I have the same exact record. Brian Dable didn't do himself any favors on Hard Knocks either. He kind of looks a little bit overrated to me as a head coach. We always heard that he was an up and coming star head coach in this league and this and that. To me, he looks very pedestrian during games as well as what we saw behind the scenes. The Cowboys, I feel like are going to be around what they were, maybe one step backwards. The Eagles, I think, are going to be a little bit better based on how they ended last year. They're going to be better than that. They're going to get back on the wagon. And I think the Commanders are going to have an underrated team this year. So with that being said, there's 3 teams that are legitimate, decent teams in this division, and then you have the Giants. And I think because of everybody else getting better in this division, or at least staying the same stat quo for Dallas' sake, the Giants are going to take a hit with that. And I like what they did with their draft, actually. I don't know a lot about what's his name, the guy from Kentucky they took. But Neighbors is a beast. And if he had a quarterback, he'd be a top 5 receiver in football probably within the next year or two. And they have other guys. Your boy Theo Johnson now, tight end from Penn State.
Yeah, but he can't catch though.
So I don't think he's going to be. I think he's trying to be the 6th offensive lineman because they need him.
Yeah.
So Tyrone Tracy is a nice running back, but he's having trouble staying healthy this in camp and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. But they got to get a quarterback, man. They got to get a quarterback. That dude can't play. And until they get a quarterback, I don't see them winning more than. I mean, I think that their ceiling might have been last year without him.
I'm going to say while you guys zag, I feel about the Giants that Chris feels about Washington, I think. And here's where I'm at with them. I didn't think this way going into it, but they won 6 games last year with quarterbacks that were probably worse than Daniel Jones, as bad as he is.
We'll find out.
We are going to find out. I'm with you on Neighbors. We're all on the same page there. He's going to be their best weapon offensively. I think the one thing that they do have is a really good pass rush with Burns, Thibodeau, and Dexter Lawrence on the defensive line. It's a really good defensive line that will help that team. I'm still in on Dable. It was only 2 years ago. Remember that he won a playoff game with Daniel Jones as a quarterback. So I do think that Jones ends up bringing them down. I have them at 8-9. I think they're going to be a little bit feistier. Again, they won 6 games last year with DeVito and with Tyrod. So I don't think, as bad as Jones is, I think they have a shot to win a couple games that they probably shouldn't.
One thing we didn't mention also was the loss of Xavier McKinney, which is actually going to be a big loss for them in their secondary on their defense also. What was the over under, Seltzer?
6.5.
Yeah, lock me in for my best bet for under on that.
Okay. Chris is on the under. All right, let's go to the Washington Commanders. The over-under also 6.5. They were 4-13 last year with the worst ranked defense in the NFL. New coach, new GM, new owner, Sixers owner Josh Harris.
New attitude.
But most importantly, guys, new quarterback Jaden Daniels in the rookie from LSU. Sam Howell was sacked. I'll start with him. Sam Howell was sacked 65 times last year. So they did make some upgrades on the offensive line. But, Chris, you say you're bullish on this team. I don't see it. They're hurting for weapons on the offensive side of the ball. They obviously trade Jahan Dotson, who we did not mention in the Eagles preview. But outside of Terry McLaurin, I just don't see a lot of weapons offensively for this team. They also made a ton of changes on defense, which is, probably an upgrade from what they had. But it's, again, a lot of moving pieces on defense is never a good thing. I really, really like Jaden Daniels, but I think this is going to be a learning year for him, especially given what they have offensively. I have the under. I'm at 4-13, and that's going to be my best bet that they're going to be the worst team in this division. Al?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for them I'm excited to see Jaden Daniels hit the field. I think he's very talented. I think he provides a little bit of a spark with what he can do with his feet and his arm. Austin Eckler, is there anything left? And even if there is it seem like Washington going to be the turnaround for him? They give away Jahan Dotson. I do like Terry McLaurin. I've always liked Terry McLaurin. I think he's a very good wide receiver. But their defense is dreadful, and I don't know that they did anything to really upgrade it. They're not going to be able to pressure the quarterback. Their linebackers suck. The secondary stinks. So I'm excited to see what Guest has to say about Washington to defend them. I have them winning 6 games. So I have them at 6-11 this season.
You don't believe in Marcus Mariota backing Jaden Daniels up?
No, I believe in my real boy, Trace McSorley, getting some time this year.
Yeah, he didn't make the cut though, I don't think.
Oh, he didn't make the cut. He's out.
No, he's out. Jeff Driscoll got that last spot.
Oh, well, Jackson's Pee Wee team is looking for a quarterback. Maybe we'll sign him.
They were talking this weekend when I was watching their game a little bit, and they were saying McSorley used to be a Commanders fan, and he grew up in the area, and this and that. And then they were like, "Well, thanks for this meaningless game that you played for us. I hope it fulfilled a dream for you."
Yeah, he said, "It's been fun. I've really enjoyed my time here."
Yeah. so you said about Austin Eckler.
GPT City right there.
You said about Austin Eckler. I don't think Eckler's even starting on this team. I think Robinson's still the starter at the running back spot. But as far as positives, you guys are going to probably clown me for this, but I'm big on leadership. I teach it for Christ's sake. But Zach Ertz joining this team I think is a nice addition for that team for their leadership. Also, he's probably going to start.
But Chris, did you see the news yesterday?
What?
They just had a baby.
Oh. I don't know now. I'm about to pull that back.
Unless he's Scotty Scheffler, he's doomed.
Yeah, baby Ertz came yesterday, I think.
Ask Bryson Stott about the babies.
Yeah.
But I mean, assuming that that's not an issue for him, I think that's a good move for them on the offensive side of the ball. To say that they didn't do anything in their defense is I couldn't disagree more. They added they had a couple big defensive freedoms. They got Frankie Louvu. They got from I believe Seattle. Dante Fowler's going to play. We'll see what he got left. Jeremy Chin is a nice addition. They got to play safety. They did a couple things on that team, on that side of the ball. Cleveland Farrell, who's not been able to it seems to be he's a big first round pick from Clemson a couple years ago, and he just for whatever reason just can't get off the ground in terms of production that they anticipated. But they're going to bring him in, see what he can do. And I just feel like, to me, this team is one of those teams that it might not be something tangible, but I just feel like with new leadership, new management, new ownership, a new quarterback, all that stuff, I think is a lot of good, positive, high energy for this organization. And so I would say I think they're going to win. I think they can win 8 games this year. I really do. I think they can win 8 games. And I hate to say this because Seltzer's in here and we have a league together, but remember the name.
Gold Dust.
Luke McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Gold Dust also. But Luke McCaffrey, he's got a pedigree. His daddy can play. His big bro can play. And I think that he's going to show us that he can play. And that could be a big reason also why they got rid of old boy, why they got rid of Jahan Dotson.
I agree, Chris. I think that was the reason they got rid of Dotson.
So all that being said, I think they're gonna have a good year.
All right, let's cap it off with the Dallas Cowboys. Over under 9.5, despite winning 12 games each of the last 3 years. Chris, let's start with you. Where are you at with the Dallas Cowboys?
I think that the Cowboys, like I said earlier, I think that they're still gonna be a good team. There's some people that think they're gonna fall off a cliff, and I don't see that. Maybe before CD got his money, that could have been a distraction and that could have been an issue. But now that he's paid, I think he's gonna have a huge year. I think this team can win 10 or 11 games. What was their line? What was their over under?
9.5.
Yeah, so I'll take the over. I'll go with the over on that. In fact, I'll make that my no, I made the best bet for the Giants, right?
Yeah.
So I'll stay with the Giants. But I think that they can go over here with this. Now they have a tough schedule though too. They do have they have games. They got Baltimore coming in. They got Detroit coming in. They go to San Fran. They got the Texans coming in. Cincinnati. But a lot of those teams are going to be in Dallas. And we've seen that some of those, at times those teams that come into Dallas, for example, are the Eagles. They sometimes just that track turf that they got, they can't catch up. So I think they can still win. I'll say they're right there with the Eagles, neck to neck, basically throughout the year that they always seem to be. But I give the edge to the Birds. I'll give Dallas 10 wins.
All right. I'm one of those people who I think the wheels may come off this year. I think there are some issues within that organization. Obviously, you have Dak Prescott playing in a contract year, has not gotten paid. If he starts out struggling, we'll see what the Dallas media and how much that weighs on him. This is a team that, again, last year, I hate to keep bringing up the Sixers, but another really good regular season followed by another playoff disappointment, as Chris didn't want to hear what I had to say for the rest of it. So he just left.
Logged out.
The CeeDee Lamb deal just got done. I'm not a huge fan of players that hold out through camp. I think there's some soft tissue issues that can certainly happen. The offensive line is not as good as it's been in past years. DeMarcus Lawrence is another guy in the final year of his deal. Micah Parsons' clock is ticking. There just seems to be a lot of guys who aren't really happy with what's going on in Dallas. I got them 7-10. Deron Bland also already injured. I got the Dallas Cowboys having a really bad year and finishing with 7 wins.
Wow, 7.
It's my bold take.
What's that?
It's my bold take. Giants got to beat somebody.
Yeah, and you know what? It does feel like shit or get off the pot for Dallas, right? Like this era feels like it's got to come to an end. It's almost like when the McNabb era finally came to an end in Philadelphia. I mean, sometimes you just have to either, you have to admit defeat at some point. Look, one of my boys, Leighton Vander Esch, he's retired now. I think Dallas on the defensive side of the ball, they're relying too much on Micah Parsons to be able to kind of lift everyone else up because they don't really have much on defense. Trayvon Diggs was injured last year. He'll be back, but I don't love Trayvon Diggs. I think he's the kind of guy, he's an all or nothing cornerback. The offense obviously still has some players, but is Rico Dowdle really the answer at running back?
They have no running game.
They have nothing. So it's gonna be interesting. I could see them falling apart this year as well. I think they still have just enough with Dak being the regular season warrior that he is, and CeeDee Lamb being one of the best receivers in the game. And then playing a little bit of a light schedule with getting to play, obviously, the Giants and the Commanders 4 times. And then, as Chris said, they're hosting some of the harder teams on the schedule. Houston goes to Dallas, Cincinnati goes to Dallas, Detroit goes to Dallas, Baltimore goes to Dallas. So I have the Cowboys winning 9 games, so just barely under the 9.5 line.
Chris is a diehard Eagles fan. You signed up. I had him at 7 wins, 7-10 for the boys.
We'll see. I told you guys the other last week, I think it was, I predict that Micah Parsons will be on our team next year.
Very possible.
So I think that they're going to have to decide. I mean, they can't pay everybody. Like, everybody can't be the Boston Celtics and just pay everybody 9-figure salaries.
Well, so we saw Chris Style in the chat a few weeks ago. We were talking quarterbacks. He said that Dak Prescott will be the opening day starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders next year. That was his prediction.
And that's possible. And I think if they especially if they do pay him, someone's got to go that's going to be high price. And I think it's going to be Micah Parsons. And I think the Eagles and Howie jump right on that. And I think Micah jumps right on that.
It certainly seems that way with the way he reps Philly.
Yeah.
All right, so there you have our NFC East preview as well as our Eagles preview. We're now jumping into segment 3. Chris laid out a challenge, a rematch for scattergories with Al, but Al has denied him his rematch. He said, not tonight, Chris.
No.
So Al has put together another game to let me and Chris battle, I assume. We have no idea what's coming, so hit us with it.
I hope you don't need a pen and paper because we don't have any.
You guys are totally in the dark here. Well, this is going to be a game that I've dubbed Last Man Standing. And the way it works is I'm going to show you guys some categories here in just a second. I'm going to pull it up on the screen. Let's see what we got here. All right. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you have 10 categories. And the way it works is you're going to pick a category. Whatever category you pick, I'm going to show you 10 different things in that category. And you're going to have to eliminate them one at a time until only the top thing in the category is left. So here's an example. If I said, like, most points in NBA history, I would have a list of the top 10. You would have to go back and forth eliminating people that are not the number one person until we get to number one. You get a point for each correct elimination you make. You get 3 points if you can eliminate the number 2 on the list. And you get 2 points if you can eliminate the number 3 on the list. And that's 1 point for everything else.
So are we working together?
No, you're going back and forth working against each other.
So you're trying to really identify internally who number 1 is and then avoiding picking them.
Right. Number 1 is a landmine. Stay away from number 1.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Okay.
And if you can get number 2 or number 3, you get a little bit of a bonus. Now, if you pick the number 1 person, I'm going to take a point off of your total score. Okay, so I'll keep score. You don't have to worry about the score. I'll keep score. All you got to worry about is not picking the number 1 in whatever category. Okay, so the 10 categories for the listeners, we have NBA, NFL quarterbacks, NFL running backs, Major League Baseball 2023, Major League Baseball in general. Then we have WWE, of course. We have movies, music, cars, and social media. And we'll just get through as many as we can. We don't have to get through all 10.
Well, I don't think any of us in here are cars, dudes. I don't think there's not enough testosterone in here for that.
Well, do you know it's the movie Cars?
Well,
all right.
By the way, that is the highest grossing sports movie of all time is Cars.
Wow.
That may have been the question.
Well, it has been revealed, fans.
All right, Chris, where do you want to start? Let's dip our toe in the water here. Let's not get crazy.
Well, we're not on the same squad, bro.
I know, but I'm not sure that either of us are fully comfortable with what we got going on here.
Yeah, I really know what we're doing. Well, so we pick a category here, right?
A category, yeah.
All right, let's go with NBA.
All right, good. All right, so NBA. Let me switch screens here. All right, so NBA. These are the top 10 heaviest players in the NBA. Okay, so we got.
Oh no, Yabusele's on
it. So we got. This is not in the order, obviously. This is in a random order. Top 10: Andre Drummond, Gershon Yabusele, Yusuf Nurkic, Brook Lopez, Joel Embiid, Zion Williamson, Nikola Jokic, Kenneth Lofton Jr., Wendell Carter Jr., and JaVale McGee.
So 4 of these guys were on the Sixers roster between the last 12 months.
So, guest, go ahead and go first.
5 of them, actually.
You're going to eliminate somebody that is not the biggest fat ass in the NBA.
Well, wait a minute, Seltzer. Who's the 5th guy?
Oh, I was counting McGee. McGee was actually way before that.
Yeah. All right. So this is going to probably be more Joel hate propaganda by Al. But I'm gonna guess. I'm trying to think this out.
Dude, there's 9 right answers.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the number 2 spot off the top. You
want to eliminate guys that aren't in that.
I'm going to say Joel off the bat. I'm going to say he's number 2.
Joel is number 5.
Okay.
So you earn 1 point for that. Guess it.
Yeah, guys, I don't think you don't want to get number 2, right? You want to narrow it down till number 2's
No,
left.
if you can eliminate the
No,
number
you do
2
wanna
guy,
get
you
it.
3 points.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
with you. All right, I'm going to play it safe just to start to get a point. I'm going to go Yabusele. He seems too small. 6'8" is probably not enough weight to be the heaviest guy in the
So
league. And I think
Yabusele is number 8 on my list.
we would have heard that he was the heaviest guy in the league when we signed him if he was.
A lot of booty, like I said last week. Pause. A lot of booty on that guy last time he was in the NBA.
All right, guess back to you.
All right. Now see, this could be a trick, and it could be. I'm thinking the trick answer here is Drummond or McGee for number 1. So I'm gonna say Wendell Carter Jr.
Wendell Carter Jr. is actually number 10.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll take a point.
The lightest fat ass, the biggest loser.
I'll go Zion again. I feel like that's another guy we would have heard is the fattest guy in the league if he was.
He actually looks trim these days. You see him?
Yeah, he does. He always does in the offseason. Then he comes out first game and
Zion is number 3. So Seltzer, you get 2 points for that.
wow. Okay.
284 pounds is what I have him listed at. Dude, that's so fat.
284.
Yeah, and he's only like 6'7".
That's huge. All right, guest.
Well, I know the biggest like dude of eye wise is Lofton, but he's also probably the smallest of the guys left. Like I said, I feel like McGee. I mean, I feel like Drummond might be that might be a trick here. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say Nurkic. I'm trying to stay away from who I think is number 1.
Yusef Nurkic is listed at 7 feet tall, 290 pounds. He's the biggest fat ass.
He's the most?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, no.
Landmine, dude. You blew it up. Nurkic was the most. Jokic was second. Then Zion. Then Brook Lopez. Then Joel. Then Drummond. Then Lofton. Then Yabusele. Then McGee. Then Carter.
All right.
Wow.
So we're going to move back to the categories here, Adam. We have 2 NFL, 2 MLB, wrestling, movies, music, cars, and
right, let's try and knock out the ones that we're going to struggle with. I'm going to struggle with. Let's go movies.
Al, real quick before you go into that. So, is it a numerical score, or are we just going by who gets the landmine?
No, it's numerical. I'm giving you points. So Seltzer's up 3-1 right now.
Okay. All
right. So movies. Let me go down to the movies category on my list. And here's what I have for you. You're going to give me the highest grossing movies of all time when adjusting for inflation. So you're trying to eliminate number 2 through 10 and leave the highest grossing movie of all time. Maybe guest knows this. I don't know.
Well, I'm pretty sure that last time I checked, I don't know, but number 1, I thought it's actually not listed on here. I thought it was going to win.
This is according to Wikipedia.
Okay.
I'll
go Avengers Age of Ultron.
Avengers Age of Ultron is number 5, so that is correct. That's 1 point for you. Guest. I'm sorry, for the listeners, I forgot. So we had Avengers Age of Ultron, we have Spider-Man 3, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, Star Wars The Force Awakens, Titanic, Avengers Infinity War, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, and Avengers Endgame.
So I think when you talk about inflation, I think Titanic is still like number 2 or 1. I don't know. Well, I think it's still up there based on ticket sales. It's actually number 1 most ticket sales of all time.
It's risky then if you're going to.
I know.
Well, you think all right. 2.
I know. I want to get Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. That's no way that's up there.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is number 2.
Is it really?
Number 2.
Wow.
Oh man.
Flirting with it, Chris.
All right.
I'll go Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3 I have as number. Oh, wait a minute. I just lost the list. Hang on. It's not number 1. It's not number 1.
I saw a documentary on the Spider-Man series, the Spider-Man movies. Icons Unearthed on
10. Number 10.
So on Amazon.
All right, guess. Go ahead.
All right. Well, if Fallen Kingdom is somehow that hot. That movie was trash. Give me Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides.
It's number 3.
Woo!
It's number 3. Guess
There we go.
2 points.
Can I just ride out with that?
You're gonna have to, I guess.
Can I take a knee on the rest of this round?
I'll knock out the other Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End.
Good choice there. That is 6. I didn't even know those 2 were movies, by the way. I've never seen any of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Me either.
All right. So based on the Rise of Skywalker, I'm gonna go with that.
All right, that's out.
Yeah.
That's number 4.
2, 3, and 4, Seltzer. Get your weight up. These points are getting accumulated.
I'll go Titanic.
I got that as number 9 on this list.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Might be a faulty list. I don't know. It's Wikipedia. I don't know.
You never know. Al, you're a teacher. You know better than going on Wikipedia for something like this. All right. Well, then that makes me feel like Endgame's gonna be number 1. So I'm gonna stay away from that. So I'm gonna go with The Force Awakens.
I have that as number 1 on the list, guest.
Minus points.
That's a -1 for guest.
I got 2, 3, and 4 playing. I'm all right.
It's 7-6.
Who's up? Me?
Tight game. Seltzer's up. 7
Yeah, but I just killed your sweet spot. I knocked that out.
That's true. All right. We playing chess, not checkers.
Your turn.
All right. Guest, you're up for a category here.
Let's go. Speaking of weak spots, let's go with cars. Let's get cars out of there.
All right.
Hyundai Tucson.
Cars. So we're looking for the highest selling automobiles in the United States in 2023. The 10 brands I have are Toyota, GMC, Chevrolet, Honda, Jeep, Ford, Subaru, Nissan, Hyundai, and Kia.
All right, Chris, you go first.
Give me Subaru.
And this is from carpro.com. Subaru was 9th with 632,000 cars. So Subaru is correct.
I'll go Jeep.
Jeep is correct. They were 8th. Honda is correct. They were 4th. I would have thought they were up there.
I'll go GMC.
GMC is correct. They were last. They were 10th.
Yeah, let's get more people realize than don't that American cars are trash. So give me Chevrolet.
Chevrolet is 3rd, guess. So you get the extra bonus point with that pick.
All right. Let's knock out Hyundai.
Hyundai was 6th. My Sonata shit the bed this past year, actually. All right, so we got 10-10 is the score. 4 left, including the number 2 spot.
And the boom bang bomb.
Toyota, Ford, Nissan, and Kia.
I'm up.
Yeah.
You're up.
All right. I'm going to say Ford. I don't think an American-made car was number 1.
Ford is number 2, guest. Get the 3-point bomb right there. Ford sold 1.8 million cars last year.
Let's knock out Kia.
Jim Sapala wants to see you in a Kia. That was 7th. So, guest, you have the opportunity here to get the last one. Toyota or Nissan?
I see a lot of rogues out there on them streets.
Especially on Fieldcrest Ave.
Yeah, a lot of rogues out there. I see a lot of RAV4s too, though. We got that RAV4 4th inning on the Phillies games.
See a lot of. I drive an Altima. You see a lot of Altimas out there.
Yeah, my mother used to drive an Altima. Can't go wrong with either one of these guys. We're selling cars on here. I'm gonna go. Oh, shoot, I'm gonna go. I think Toyota was 1. I'm gonna go Nissan.
I guess Toyota is known to be one of the most reliable brands of car, along with Honda. Nissan was 5th, so you get the point there. I guess you took the lead. It is now 14-11.
Look at us running the car. The cars are trained up.
Yeah, the
Not
weekend.
cars.
Seltzer got to swallow that Toyota bomb.
Yep.
So we'll move on now to another category. Seltzer, it's your pick.
All right, let's do MLB 2023. I got to get back in this.
All right. Let me
What's the score again, Al? I'm sorry.
You are up 14-11.
All right.
I just have to go to my answers for this one. All right, MLB 2023. All right, the category most doubles hit in 2023. The 10 names I have: Nick Castellanos, Freddie Freeman, Nathaniel Lowe, Corey Seager, William Contreras, Anthony Santander, Matt Chapman, Mookie Betts, Marcus Semien, and I have no idea who that last guy is.
Oh, Heimer Candelario.
There you go.
All right, I'll start. I'll knock out Mookie Betts. He missed a lot of time.
All right. He still hit 40 doubles, but Mookie Betts is correct. He is not the number one man.
Is he number 2 or number 3 at that?
He's tied for fourth.
Okay.
All right. I'll be honest. I don't want anything to do with this round. So I'm gonna take Castellanos because I feel like he might have snuck in there and led the league. I don't know.
He was tied for 10th with a bunch of people.
Oh,
So I had to include him. He had 37.
All right. Yeah, this round scares me.
Yeah, me too. I'll go Nathaniel Lowe.
Nathaniel Lowe was tied for 8th with 38. So that is a correct answer. Back to guest.
Now, strategically, Al, would it be smart to try to, if you're up, to try to pick the bomb?
Right.
Just end the round.
Yeah. I'm gonna take. Why the hell would you put Heimer Candelario on this list if he didn't win it
and not know his name? He was tied for 6th.
Oh,
with 39.
I'm trying to find the bomb.
I'm gonna take a shot. I'm gonna go for number 2 here. I'm gonna say Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman had 59 doubles, which was 17 more than second place Corey Seager last season. He was a doubles machine.
Dude, why did I think that this was this season?
Bomb.
That's why I said Mookie Betts got hurt. He got hurt this year.
Yeah, when you said that, and I looked at my the answers here, and he played 152 games. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, man, that's baby brain right there, dude.
Seltzer's got a high low tolerance for games missed.
That's why, like Castellanos, I was like, he don't have that many doubles this year. What's
you ready for that Santander Phillies jersey in 25?
Freeman, Seager, and Santander were the top 3 in that.
Listen, Freeman he might be the most underrated hitter of our generation.
Yeah, so
he's very good. All right, Seltzer, who's up? No, guest.
No, I'm up this time. Let's go. What's the score now, Al?
Score is you have 16. Seltzer has 12.
All right, I'm gonna try to. I see him on the ropes a little bit.
Yeah,
okay? I'm trying to lay the hammer down.
He's reeling.
Let me get the music.
Oh, okay. We're gonna go to music here, and music. If you look at your screens,
oh boy,
is you're gonna try and name the 2 through 10 most streamed songs on Spotify of all time. And I'd be lying if I said I knew all of these songs. Yeah. So here are the songs. It's Someone You Loved by Louis Capaldi, Drake, One Dance, Harry Styles, As It Was, The Kid Laroi, Stay, Ed Sheeran, Shape of You, The Weeknd, Blinding Lights, Post Malone, Sunflower, The Neighborhood, Sweater Weather, The Weeknd, Starboy, and Tones and I, Dance Monkey. Guest. You're gonna kick
I will say I'm a huge Neighborhood fan, believe it or not.
That's a good song.
I love The Neighborhood. I don't think it's number 1, but I think I know what number 1 is. So let's get. I don't know what Tones and I is.
You know this.
No, that's a nice song too.
Do I know that?
You know,
Dance Monkey, Dance Monkey, Dance Monkey.
Yeah, I don't know if I know that, bro.
You might want to check that out after the show.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick that.
That's number 9 with 3.123 billion streams.
Billion.
That's going to get you. And also, none of these songs are older than 2012.
Yeah. I'll knock out Sweater Weather. I know Chris was on the fence there, but
Sweater Weather is number 10.
Yeah, I knew that wasn't going to be up like high.
3.11.
I'm surprised it was that high. That's awesome that they got downloaded that many times or streamed that many times. So I heard this Louis Capaldi song years ago on XM, and I was like, this is a hit record. It was a ballad. And I was like, why is it not on the radio? And Sarah was like, it is on the radio. You don't listen to regular old school radio. I was like, oh. But I don't think it's number one. So I'm going to say Capaldi.
3.54 billion streams. It's number 3.
Oh,
Guest
wow.
once again. Getting the bonus points.
I might be playing too conservative here.
I think so.
But
it's a really well written song, that song.
Let's take out the only song here I don't know is the Kid Leroy. So let's take out the Kid Leroy.
All right. The Kid Leroy Stay was number 8 with 3.2 billion.
Yeah, now we're getting into the meat and potatoes.
Yeah. Guys, you're up 19-14. You have a healthy lead. Maybe you jump on the bomb here.
Yeah, I might jump on the bomb. Now I'm also a big Harry Styles fan, believe it or not. I don't think I ever told you all the story about Harry Styles from when my niece met him, but I'll tell you guys later on for that.
On the plane?
I did tell you? Okay, yeah. With the cereal. Did I tell you about that? Yeah. I'm gonna go Blinding Lights. I think that's it.
Blinding Lights is the bomb.
Yes.
It's the bomb. Yes. 4.4 billion. The only song that has over 4 billion streams. So guess
number 2, Shape of You.
Number 2 is Shape of You. Yes,
that's where I was going next.
3.9. Oh, so that's a bomb.
Blinding Lights might be the biggest, best song of this decade. Really, right?
Yeah, that song is awesome.
Great song. All right, let's go back to MLB and I'll try not to screw this one up.
All right, so MLB. This is these numbers are courtesy of StatMuse.
So this must be of all times because last one was last year.
So this is most steals since the year 2000. 10 names here. Some blasts from the past.
Yeah, it is.
Jose Reyes, Rajai Davis, Jacoby Ellsbury, Bobby Abreu, Starling Marte, Ichiro Suzuki, Juan Pierre, Carl Crawford, Jimmy Rollins, and Elvis Andrus.
So what's it? Is it 18-14 now?
It is 18-14.
All right. Let's start Rajai Davis. He had a couple big years, but I don't think he has the length of career that these other guys do.
Rajai Davis 6th with 415 stolen bases.
All right. I think it comes down to 2 dudes. Again, I think I'm gonna try to land on the bomb. I think give me Jacoby Ellsbury.
Ellsbury's 10th. So in a way, you did just land on the bomb there.
I took a bomb.
Ellsbury 343.
Didn't he have 1 year? Didn't he have 60 stolen bases or something?
Yeah, but his career he wasn't as long as some of these other guys.
He played the least amount of games of all the guys on this list. 2 steals ahead of number 11 in this time period. Michael Bourne.
Wow.
All right, guess you got a point there.
Let's go J-Roll.
All right. J-Roll is 5th with 470.
Now, do I continue to pursue the bomb or do I play the game?
Oh, well.
All right, let's get Abreu out of there.
Yeah, Abreu obviously not number 1. He's 9 with 347.
Dude, his career is his stats are.
Yeah, he did a lot of things really well.
All right, I'm gonna try and hit the 2nd place guy or the 3rd place guy. Let me hit Jose Reyes.
Jose Reyes is 2nd with 517 steals. So that's a 3 point, 3 points there. Seltzer, you're only down 1.
Let's shut it down with oh no, I can't do that now then at this point. He's only down 1. Starling Marte.
Starling Marte is correct. He's 7th with 351 steals. So if you're listening, we have Ichiro Suzuki, Juan Pierre, Carl Crawford, and Elvis Andrus left, looking for the most steals since 2000.
That's one name that definitely doesn't belong.
That top right is where I was thinking of the top 3.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take a shot here. I'm going to go Carl Crawford.
Carl Crawford was 4th in this time period with 480 steals.
There's no way Elvis Andrews is the most steals in 2000.
He is not. He was tied for 8th with Bobby Abreu, 347 steals. I was surprised that he wasn't the one named next.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to swing it for the third. The third one's still up.
What's up? What you want to do?
We have 1 and 3 left. We have Ichiro and we have Juan Pierre.
I'm going to knock out Ichiro because I believe Juan Pierre, he had some 70+ stolen base seasons, and he played for a while.
I think Ichiro's the bomb.
Seltzer just tied it up. Juan Pierre was number 1 with 614, almost 100 more.
Juan had some big years.
Yeah.
I was a big Juan Pierre guy in your fantasy baseball league, Seltzer. Used to rack those steals up.
Juan Pierre's peak, he had 65, 68, 1 year, 64, 58, 57. Yeah, he was a beast.
No Luis Castillo won there, huh?
No, surprisingly. I thought about him too. Sean Figgins just didn't make the list. Gordon. All right. We got 4 left. Guest, we're back to you. We got NFL quarterbacks, NFL running backs, wrestling, and social media.
Well, we are on social media right now. So if I'm assuming the bank for that is going to be best podcasts, and then be the top spot. So I'm going to go to social media and look for that bomb.
All right. Well, let's see if we can find the bomb here. In social media, the category is the most followers on Instagram.
Okay.
Now, this comes with a small asterisk. Excuse me. This is actually numbers.
No small S's on this list.
This is numbers 2 through 11 because the number 1 most followed account on Instagram is Instagram. So I cut that one out. So here are the next 10. We have Selena Gomez, Lionel Messi, The Rock, Beyonce, Kim Kardashian, Ariana Grande, Cristiano Ronaldo, Nike, Kylie Jenner, and Khloe Kardashian.
And it's tied?
It is tied 22-22. So finding the number 2 or 3 will be big.
I think I know what rounds. I think I know where the 1 is at. But
I think I do too.
What's who's up?
You are. You picked the category.
You're first.
All right, let's get Selena Gomez out of there.
Selena Gomez is actually 3rd on this list, guess. So that's a big one. You get the extra point there.
Big Selena Gomez fan.
Let me hit him where it hurts with The Rock.
So Selena Gomez, 425 million followers. The Rock is 5th on this list with 396. That is correct.
Nike.
Nike is last on this list with 304 million. So
that is Taylor Swift on here, huh?
No Taylor Swift.
She's
not far behind here. She's 3 off the top 10.
Let's go Kim K.
Kim K is 7th on my list. So she is out.
Can I get an updated score?
You're up 1. And the number 2 person still lies in the weeds with the most followers.
I think I'm content with a tie here. This is going to be number 2 or number 3, I guess, or the bomb. Cristiano Ronaldo.
That's the bomb.
Cristiano Ronaldo has 636 million followers, and that's the bomb. He is number 1
I'm good.
This list.
Yep, I'm good with that. We'll tie up for next round.
Who would you guess is
I would go Messi.
Messi is 2.
Yeah.
Messi is 2.
We talked about this before with like the students. Never fails. It's Ronaldo. And I always say he's not even the best player in the world anymore, and they love him.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right,
the soccer guy couldn't pull off the soccer trivia there in the followers. Seltzer, we're back to you. Quarterbacks, running backs, or wrestling?
QBs.
We're going to quarterbacks. All right. Quarterbacks is the following. I want you to give me the 2 through 10 most interceptions thrown by a quarterback since the year 2000. And Seltzer, you're going to start the 10 names: Carson Palmer, Drew Brees, Matt Stafford, Brett Favre, Tom Brady, Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning, and Matt Ryan.
I think there's a clear bomb here.
You think?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get one for you, then I'm gonna throw the bomb out.
I'll go Peyton.
Peyton Manning was 6th with 208. So that is correct.
All right, I'm gonna hit you with number 2, which is gonna be Ben Roethlisberger.
Number 1 and number 2 are separated by 1 interception. Ben Roethlisberger is number 4 with 211.
Okay.
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan's number 9 with 183.
Carson Palmer.
Carson Palmer's number 8 with 187. We're on the seesaw here. We're tied again.
I know the bomb.
2 and 3 are still out there.
So even though he threw a lot, didn't play as long. Favre.
That's the bomb.
No, it's not.
Favre is down on the list, guys. He's 7 with 195 picks. He is last on games played of these quarterbacks from.
I thought he'd be number 1. All right. He was a gunslinger. He was.
So we're down to Breeze, Stafford, Brady, Eli, and Rivers.
No way Brady was the top interception thrower.
Is that your pick?
Yeah, let's go Brady.
I think that's the bomb.
Brady's 3 with 212. So guess gets a bonus point there, puts him in the lead.
Trying to think of longevity. I'm pretty confident Phil Rivers is not the bomb. So let's go Phil Rivers.
Philip Rivers threw 209 interceptions. He was 5th in this time period for interceptions thrown. So he's not the bomb. The bomb and the number 2 man are still out there.
So it's tied still, right? Or
it is tied. It's tied 28 to 28.
All right. So I'm gonna go Drew Brees.
Drew Brees is 2nd on my list. Guest with a huge pull to get 3 points. Take a 3-point lead. So that leaves the bomb and the nom.
I'm going to have to go just for games played with Stafford.
Yeah, see, I think it's Eli.
Stafford is 10th on the list with 180. Eli Manning threw 244 interceptions in that time period. Drew Brees threw 243.
See, I thought Favre was 1 and Eli was 2. That's who I would have guessed.
Yeah, I just thought Favre only played till like 2010. Some of those other guys, I mean, like Rivers.
Oh yeah, because that's a good point. Yeah, because he had a lot of the 90s stuff.
All right,
I didn't think of it like that.
Guest, you're winning 31 to 29 now at this point. And it's your pick. You can go running backs or you can go WWE.
All right. As much as I want to pick the wrestling,
we got to save it for the
end.
end.
You save the main event for the main event.
You want to save that for the main event?
Yeah.
Make the main thing the main thing?
Exactly.
All right. I'm going to go to – all right, let's do the running backs for the kids.
So I'm looking for the most rushing yards since the year 2010.
There you go. Seltzer Shady's on it. You want to pick the bomb?
11,000. It checks out.
Saquon's not on it. So we got Ezekiel Elliott, Le'Veon Bell, Matt Forte, Marshawn Lynch, Frank Gore, Adrian Peterson, DeMarco Murray, Derrick Henry, LaShawn McCoy, and Mark Ingram.
All right.
Guess you are up first.
And I'm up 2?
You're up 2.
All right, the bomb is Frank Gore.
Frank Gore is 2nd.
Oh my God.
All right, I'll take that. All right.
Why do you keep trying to get on the bomb?
Because if I'm up,
I'll
be up 1 going to the last round.
1, 2, 3. That's a 5-point lead now.
Now it's strategic. Damn, who had more than
Matt Forte? It's an easy point.
Yeah, Forte is 8th on my list. So that's a point for Seltzer, who now has 30. It's 34 to 30.
It's about. All right, I think I know. Is AP the bomb? Go with AP.
AP's third on my list. Yes. The bonus point once again here. 36 now. 36-30, Seltzer. Wow.
All right, Zeke.
Zeke is fifth on my list. Not the bomb. So the bomb is out there.
Dude, I know Mark Ingram played forever, but there's no way. Give me let's get some points. Give me Le'Veon.
Yeah, Le'Veon is 10th
Yeah.
on the list.
DeMarco.
DeMarco Murray's 9th on the list. So that leaves Derrick Henry, Marshawn Lynch, LaShawn McCoy, and Mark Ingram.
Shady
is number 1 on the list. And there was the reason why I wasn't saying the rushing yards for each person. I couldn't believe in the beginning of the pod we were talking about how many yards he had in his career, knowing that this was coming up. He had 10,465 rushing yards in that span. Frank Gore was second with 10,439, and AP was third with 10,434.
And he had what was it, rookie year 09? I guess it was, where he had some.
Yeah. So 31 yards separated the top 3. So guess you lose a point there.
I can afford it.
Yeah, you're still up 37-32 as we head into the final category and the main. So let's get to the WWE topic, which is the most Intercontinental Championship reigns.
You love the IC belt.
Dude, who doesn't?
That's the workman's belt.
Workman's belt, exactly. All right, so we have
just for the record, when I had the scattergories playing tonight, I had an Intercontinental Championship question myself.
Okay.
So I may have some inside info over here.
Oh no.
That I don't.
Here are the top 10 in no order. Edge, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, The Miz, Bad News Barrett, Rob Van Dam, Jeff Hardy, Jeff Jarrett, Christian, and Dolph Ziggler. Seltzer, you're first, and it would behoove you to try and get that number 2 and number 3 guy.
I got to take some big swings. Let's start with Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett is 4th.
All right.
With wait a minute. Actually, wait a minute. I forgot. There are 3 guys tied for 3rd here. So it's fitting, I guess, for the main event. You're going to get 2 points for each one of those guys. Jeff Jarrett is one of the guys tied for 3rd with 6. So Seltzer, you do get 2 points for that selection.
I just love one of the most underrated gimmicks is with Barrett when he come out. Ladies and gentlemen, I got some bad news.
Dude, I still say I'm afraid I have some bad news every now and then.
So I'm sorry, Al. So it's what now?
You got to take Jarrett off the list.
I got to delete Jeff Jarrett off the list. All right. So he's tied for 3rd with a couple other guys. He had 6 IC title reigns.
I'm up 3, right?
Mm-hmm. Are you going to try to find the bomb?
I'm going to try to find the bomb. Is it Dolph?
See, this goes against the integrity of the game.
Yeah.
I think it's Dolph. I'm saying Dolph.
Ziggler was tied with Jeff Jarrett with 6. So again, you're looking for the bomb and you end up finding one of the top guys. So guess gets 2 points there.
I think this might be the bomb, but I got to swing. But let me get the Miz.
The Miz, Seltzer, is a great pick. He has the 2nd most Intercontinental title reigns with 8. And he's a
Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah.
What's that put me down?
So you are now down 1. And
find that bomb now. We'll call it a draw.
Wait a minute. I was up 5, and then I got the 2 points, right? So that's 7, and then he got the 2 points.
Yeah, I got a 3 and a 2, so I should be down 2.
All right.
That's all right. So 2. All right. So I can still get the bomb. Bad News Barrett is clearly not. I'm gonna get a point. Bad News Barrett is no way, shape, or form number 1 on this list. There's no way.
Guess with 15 Intercontinental title reigns. No, bad
I was
news.
going to say, where was I at?
Everybody stopped.
I'm afraid I got some bad news. Bad news. Barrett had 5, so he actually had a lot.
Yeah, nice little run. Yeah.
Yeah, he's tied for 5th on my list.
I think I know the bomb. So how many big points are left here? We got 2 guys.
No, 1, because you got the Miz, who was 2, and then Jarrett and Dolph were both tied for 3 with one other guy.
And I'm down 2.
Yeah.
Or 3.
Oh, you're down 3 now.
Yeah.
So I got to find the guy. I have to find the extra point somewhere along the lines here. All right, let me go. Let me go Benoit just because he doesn't have the longevity.
No, Benoit had 4, so he's not 2, but he's not 1.
Okay.
So you get a point there. So that leaves Edge, Jericho, Rob Van Dam, Jeff Hardy, and Christian for guests, and he's up 2.
All right, so RVD is out. I'm gonna take RVD.
RVD ices it. RVD tied for 3rd with 6 Intercontinental Championship reigns.
All right. Well, then I'm just going to jump on the bomb because I just taking the. I'm pretty sure the bomb is Jericho.
Jericho is the bomb. He had 9. The Miz has said he wants to beat that record. But yeah, Chris Jericho, 9 Intercontinental Championship reigns. That is the bomb.
Seltzer is committing some Harry Carey there. Harry Carey, as they say.
Guest, you win the first ever last man standing.
Good job, guest.
Game.
That was a fun game. Now that was cool. That was different. It was different.
I hope this is enjoyable on audio, though. I didn't think that one through as far as how enjoyable this would be in audio. We'll see.
That's all right.
I think it'll be good. You do that in the class?
I'm going to start.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So that's why I'm asking you. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm going to start.
Like for a quiz review or test reviews or something.
Or you know what you could also do is to amend it is like if you get 10, it's 1.9 is 2 points.
I was thinking that too. Yeah,
I wanted to do that way too much math.
Yeah,
right now. Yeah,
we were messing up the 1 and the 2 points.
yeah. I might have won.
Yeah, this score might not be valid.
If you're keeping score at home, let us know.
You might have lost by 5 for all I know. I don't know.
All right, but until then, we're going to drop that beat.